was a long process from when I met them and then went through the development of the script, and I kind of saw it go through lots of different iterations and got very close to these guys and running the writer, and it's really being around certain energies. I mean, I just like, I think if I just hang around someone long enough, like you just start taking on various different characteristics. I like that about myself. And they have very strong personalities, but also, and you kind of rub up on you their energy and stuff. But they're also very gifted writers. And certain, you get certain bits, certain lines, and it would just be like, it just really click with me. And I like things that are very jagged in their writing. It's not a kind of a gradual build of a character that you'll think of it going one way, and then suddenly it's a very sharp right angle, and it's kind of it's fun. If something's fun and exciting, it's easy to get into.
I think I saw Connie start to be born when we took that tour through the Manhattan Detention Center. You didn't have the accent down, so you wouldn't open up your mouth, but you were developing the look, and you were just kind of walking around.
Yeah. It's also things like the clothing and stuff. I mean, I remember just certain things. I remember just Josh giving this big one of the 90s Avirex jackets, and it's just sort of when you just put something on which just feels so foreign, and you just think everyone can just, you just think it's so different to you, it looks fake. You're like, okay, how do I figure out how to make this look real? And it's like nothing in particular. It's just convincing yourself. That's it. I mean, you just keep it on for patience.
We've got time for one last question. Back there, sure.
I just wanted to hear about the score, actually.
Sure.
Did you have some sort of influence on that, or did you let the composer?
I was there for almost every composed second of because we thought Daniel went on Tricks Point Never, who's an incredible musician. You should all go out and buy his albums on Warp Records because he's just honestly, when I had been listening to his music for a while, and they were just like scores to music movies that didn't exist. So when we started, but he actually sent us a couple of tracks before we started making the movie, and none of them, except for one, kind of shows up in it. And we ended up, we cut the movie, and then we went with a picture lock. Well, not picture lock, we're still editing. And we started to build it from frame one. And the concept was, this piece of music is the fever within the film, and it's constantly just trying to break. And its presence there, it's almost like the internal, thermometer inside the Connie. And it, the thematic, with Dan, we talked a lot about Steve Hillage music and John Abercrombie, and just like this idea of solos, that every once in a while through these arpeggios, a solo will break free. Because ultimately the movie's just about breaking free, we really got obsessive, super micro about it. Like every little thing had a sound. And Dan's incredible. You got that, and then the Iggy thing was just like a strange blessing from.
It was classical in the sense that we did it after the fact to the picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then at the end, we had tried a lot of. We were going to license music, and none of it really worked. I was writing the movie a lot to Bewley Brothers by David Bowie, and I was like, oh, that's going to be the song. As we put it in, it's like, it just feels so grafted on. We have to have something bespoke. And Dan wrote that beautiful piece that you hear at the end. He's like, oh, we all agreed it should have vocals. And, I was like, yeah, well, who could do this? And he threw out Iggy Pop. And I basically looked at him and was like, all right, how about Elvis? Because it just seemed so ridiculous to mention Iggy Pop, the king of termites. And he saw the movie, loved it, and then, next thing you know, we're in the studio listening to him sing lyrics that I had never heard before, and then him stopping, I also have some spoken word stuff I want to try as well. And he goes on, 20-minute recording of these poems that he was talking about, and his interpretation of the movie was just so spot on. He was able to see the movie from both Connie's perspective and Nick's perspective. And I just thought it was so enlightening, and I think it does so much at the end of the movie. I don't know if
and because the hardest thing to do is when you have music play at the end of a movie is people get up and they leave the theater. That's like a cue to leave. When the credits roll, it's a cue to leave.
Yeah, but we have the most important scene of the movie.
Exactly. So how do we play with this kind of classical notion of, okay, this is the end of the movie, but how does it intricately work itself in so that you want to stay and watch it? And I think the only way is that if you can get the fact that you have Iggy kind of being this narrator from above, kind of telling you and speaking.
We're maximalists, so we want every frame to count. That's why the only piece of movie that you see that doesn't have image underneath it is the title card. Everything else is imagery. And again, we feel naked at times, so it's like, let's put some clothes on, but it's still in the end very naked.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. I hate to
Thank you, everybody.